Hi, it's 975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox. And today I've got a fun fight. This was TFIconvict, who's trying to get better at PvP, trying out his new Anaconda. It had plasmax and frags and was much more damaging than the previous ships he's brought into the fight. This was a fun little duel he had with my Corvette. Now, anyone who knows my Corvette knows that I built it as a bit of a joke. It's just a bit of fun. It's ridiculously heavy, very very slow, and has 4 shell cannons. I also made it ridiculously, and I mean ridiculously heavy. EA Sports big. It's so tremendously heavy, it's over the weight limit, which gives me some problems because I can't change the weaponry on it, because I really want to put an Imperial Hammer on the railgun, and I would love to change some of the weaponry, but I can't because it's over the weight limit. I built it supposedly to be good at ramming things, however it's too slow really to be successful at ramming, and also I'm shooting people with 4 shell cannons, which drives them backwards. Though if it ever does get to ram someone, it's a pretty hefty collision, and it's usually pretty one-sided, pretty much like this, you know, and it's yeah, it can barrel through a lot of things. It's a very very fun ship to use because people who are trying to hit me with, especially with plasmax, find it annoying because I'm hitting them with 4 shell. It's just fun from the point of view it drives the opponent backwards quite often. Some people have struggled with it to deal with it in time, but ultimately it's very useless as a PvP 1v1 ship because I always run out of ammo. It's just not quite enough ammo to get through it and win, and also I kind of made a massive mistake with the shields. My 2 goals when I built it was to get the shields over 9,000 megajoules in power, and the second thing was to make it over 3,000 tons. I succeeded on both fronts, but the sadly the shields aren't that good because they are 9,000 shield strength. They have absolutely no resistances. I am literally handing nearly 20% damage buff to anyone using thermal against me. So against the kinetic build I'm laughing my butt off, but against anyone else I'm screwed. Ironically, I made it a majorly good counter for plasma vets because I can sit there and tank a hell of a lot, and I've had plasma vets burn out and die from just overheating themselves and running out of ammo before they've managed to kill me, aided by the fact that they're missing more shots than they used to because I'm hitting them all over the place with 4 shell. But I'm still happy with that side of the build, and like I say, I can't change anything now because it's just so heavy, but I am happy because you get that once in a blue moon when someone just has this sort of reaction to the fact I've got 9,000 shields on a vet.
It's over 9,000!
And yeah, it's not a great idea to do, but it does have its benefits. Now, as far as banks go, I've only got 2 sets of banks on there, and they're both B rated for extra weight. Everything on here is just for extra weight. It's the most ridiculous ship I've ever built. It wasn't built to have proper serious 1v1s. It wasn't built for PvP. It was just built as a troll ship and as a bit of fun. To shoot Scooby at people, shoot people into the ground at ground bases, shoot people into asteroids, that sort of thing. But I do rock out and have 1v1s in it. I generally accept if they're in a multi-cannon Corvette I'm going to lose, but it kind of puts up a decent enough fight against most things. I mean, it is an incredibly tough ship, and you know, the 9,000 shields do take some work to get through. So, you know, I'm not hard done by the fact that I've built a silly ship. I deliberately set out to build a silly ship, and I quite enjoy using it in 1v1s just from the reactions and the lulls of watching people fly backwards. You know, it's quite funny the amount of times I've been in fights and Polo's been moaning because the guy's reverse skiing on us, and I'm like, I don't think that's deliberate reverse ski, I don't think I'm assisting. It was absolutely no use in a wing fight because you're all focusing someone and I'm just blasting them out of the fight. So it has its flaws. yeah, 4-shell cannon is great fun, but it's no use in a wing fight. It really isn't. But back to TFIconvict, he's trying to get better at PvP, and I gotta say, this ship that he came up with, vast improvement, much more DPS, much more of a glass cannon, a little bit fragile, lacking a little bit, but outputs a lot of damage. As you can see, my 9,000 shields are getting reasonably stripped. So yeah, he's getting there. There's improvements. There's small. The thing is, when you're doing PvP, it's not to get discouraged. It's the small incremental improvements that you make. And I'm no PvPer by any stretch of the imagination. But the hardest thing to do with PvP, and one of the hardest hurdles to come over for most people, is the fact that they don't see themselves getting any better. And that's the same with anything, any skill or task that is difficult. It is really difficult to see those small improvements. So it's quite nice that Convict will have these videos to go back on, and he can see his improvements and also see where he needs to improve. Because, you know, some people may be shocked to hear this, but, you know, I'm not going to be shocked when he gets to the point where he beats me in 1v1s in bigs on a regular basis. I'm not shocked when, like, most people beat me in bigs. Some people may find that shocking, but I don't care about PvP. You know, as long as I'm stealing a few tons of piracy cargo, I really don't care. Like, my goal with PvP, as I've always stated on this channel, is to not get speedrun. You know, as long as I'm putting up a decent enough show, the result doesn't bother me. I have fun messing around with the PvPers, going out, you know, going out with my gimbal scrub builds, messing around, shooting their weapons off with missiles, doing annoying, silly, trolly stuff to them. You know, in actual proper 1v1s, I'm always, you know, well, I should lose more than I win. I do fair enough for my level of skill and my tricky builds, but ultimately I'm no great shakes at PvP, especially in bigs. In bigs, I'm very, you know, very much. My ships are just set out decently, and like I can do some things reasonably well, but you know, I'm not very good at pre-turning. I can't cancel banks that regularly. I'm just not good in big ship combat. But I have a lot of fun trolling people in my cannon vet, and I'm so glad I built it, even though it is one of the stupidest things I've ever set about doing, and it was a real ball ache, and there was a lot of engineering involved and an awful lot of like experimentation with different parts, which became awkward because of the weight limit issues. But anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and GG to TFIconvict. I gotta say, he did a lot of damage in that build. Bit of a glass cannon, but getting there. That's all. Thanks for watching.
I Corvette's a big ship though, yeah. You've still got me well outmatched on shields. That's no problem. I need a Corvette. That'd be a good challenge, this sort of build on a Corvette, I don't know. I've got one left in each one. But no heat sinks. I was sitting at like 600 degrees for like 5 minutes.